Release the Kraken!
Okay, welcome back, fellow game designers. We're going to attach the head to the body. But to do that, we're going to need a neck, so let's dive right in. Before I actually pull the neck off, and yeah, we're just going to go ahead and extrude this out. But before that, I want to make this a little bit thinner, because the neck's going to be quite thick if I pull it off right now. Let's go up to Mesh Tools and do Insert Edge Loop. And before I throw that loop in, I just want to check the front of the body here. I'm just looking to see the end of the groin and the back, because we want that loop to kind of cut through right about here. Alright, got that. And then go into face mode. I'm going to grab these. And I'm going to extrude off. So extrude. Go ahead and pull those up. Grab that blue arrow. Good enough. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these top faces. And I'm also going to go in and get rid of these internal faces. You can see these appeared after we extruded. That kind of always happens. Just want to make sure we get rid of those. And it's almost time to add this to the body. I just want to make sure that we have the correct number of points. So if you look, we have on the body a total of 5 connecting points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But on the head, we have a lot more than that. So underneath here, we've got 1, 2, right? Kind of going all the way around. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-ish points there. So what we kind of have to do is make sure that there's enough points here. If I start cutting in though, like if I were to go ahead and grab my edge loop tool, don't do this by the way, because you might forget to undo it. If I were to cut here, let me grab that. So it's going to cut through the finger, and then it loops all the way around the body. I don't really want to do that, because then I'm going to have to try to guess and gauge that and make it loop just right. And that's going to be a problem. Luckily for us, let me go ahead and Control Z that and undo. Luckily for us, there is a quicker way, and that's called subdividing. So I'm going to go up to Mesh, and the easiest way to subdivide in Maya is to use the smooth operation. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and voila, we end up with a new smooth kind of mesh. Look at that. And it should be just enough points to start adding to the head. Look at that. We actually end up with, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 points. We need 15. We're going to have to add a couple more in. But for now, I think it's a good starting point. Now, you do have the option to increase the number of divisions. I really wouldn't go above 1 in this case, because if we hit 2, you'll see that we end up with like 18 connecting points, where I think we only need 15. So plus it would make us extra smooth, which we don't really need right now. That doesn't match our head. So I'm going to keep it at 1. You can also see here that since I did smooth, my body is also smooth, right? Look at that. I'm a bit OCD. I kind of want the rough, faceted look of this. That way it's easier for me to kind of count the points. So just to kind of do that, I'm going to come up to Mesh Display, and then come down to Harden Edges. And that's going to make the body show those hardened edges. So it's easier for me to kind of eyeball as I'm looking at the mesh without having to select anything. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these faces off, and then I'm just going to bridge it. So select, delete. Grab these, that one to that one. And to keep it consistent, I'll do this one to that one as well. And then I'll bridge. It does give me a star right here, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Usually you want to avoid stars when it's going to bend. This is part of the head that's going to bend a lot. What I would like to do is actually split this and kind of go around this way. Alright, then under here, take this one, I'll extrude, W, just pull that back. This one, extrude, W, pull that down, move that out. Vertex mode. I'm going to weld this point to the corner of the ear. And then this point to there. And then I do a really terrible idea, which is this point to that point. And I say terrible because this does, again, create a type of edge flow that is not really the best for animating. But up here, this part of the head doesn't bend as much, so I'm kind of taking liberties where I can. It also reduces the amount of points that I have to connect this way. Alright, so let's take these. We'll extrude those back. Vertex mode. Target weld. This one to there. Oh, where are you? And then this one to there. There we go. Now I might be able to follow this same trend and reduce as I go. I need to reduce this by a couple. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 points left on the neck, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points on the head, so I have to reduce it a few more times. I think I can take this one to there and just kind of fill this in. So let's go to edge mode. This one to there. Shift and right click, bridge. Kind of move this down, move that down. And you can see it still follows the edge flow, which is good. We're just going to get spots that are going to get weird. Let's take this group, 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and level that off a little bit. Extrude it, pull it back. Vertex, target weld. From this one to there, that's a point. So here to there, shift, bridge. Okay. 4 points, and how many are left? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to reduce this if I can. Looks like I can take these down a notch. So there, whoops. Extrude. Pull these down. Okay, target weld. So vertex, click off, target weld to there. Edge mode, grab these. Pull back. Target weld, you go to there, you go to there. Kind of fix that bowing. So now I have 5 points and 3 points. So the way we're going to end up solving this part is by cutting in a couple edge loops. Now, a thing that you want to avoid over everything else. So you know how we said, try to avoid stars if you can. They bend weird. Try to avoid these little, little three-way connecting faces because they bend weird, right? If we cut these edge loops in, we're going to get something called a spiral. So a spiral, go ahead and grab this edge loop tool, insert edge loop, is like the worst thing you can ever have. So if I go ahead and just add that line, and then I'm going to go ahead and double click it so you can see what I'm doing. So this goes all the way up, and that stops here, right? Well, if this were to continue on, now it stops here because the inside of the mouth is open. We kind of did that on purpose, right? If I had that mouth closed, this would go up. And because there's an uneven number of cuts, it would go all the way up. And then what would end up happening is when it would finish off, we would end up with an extra cut for the one that we just added, right? We were trying to get to 5 here. But by making this one now 4, it would loop around and make this 6, right? And if I make this one 5, it would loop around and make it, 7 or 8 or whatever the deal is, right? So spirals cause a lot of problems. You want to avoid them at all costs. So instead of doing that, I'm actually going to undo, because spirals are never a good idea. Even if you can try to avoid them, or even if you can kind of cheat them into a corner, they're going to bite you later on. So what I'm going to do is actually take this neck piece here. So I'm going to select this face, hold shift, double click. It's going to go all the way through. I'm going to delete that. And instead of adding my points with it connected, I'm going to add my points now. So get edge loop. I'm going to do the first one right here. I'm going to do a second one and right about here. That should be enough. I'm going to do some massaging of the points to kind of get this to move around. But I'd rather do that than end up with a spiral. Believe me, you don't ever want one of those. They're such a pain to deal with. So this point to here. And it looks like we're going to have uneven number, but we're not. We're just going to move some stuff around. So that to there, I'll just go ahead and bridge that. Go to my front view. Kind of shuffle in a little bit. At this point, I'm going to pull in. I'm going to get rid of this face here. This point to there. That one to here. Bridge. I'm going to split this one. I know, I'm playing a little bit of Jenga here, but vertex, grab that point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this along under here. So here, here, and there. Like so. This one to that one, bridge it. This one to that one, bridge it. Kind of massage this around. Alright, I'll go from here to there. And I'm going to work from this way inward just to see if that's going to be something to unravel. So here to there. Bridge. Bridge. So far so good. I'll grab these last two and these two. Bridge. Okay. And you can see this cut, how this is kind of here. We can actually work that all the way through. Let's grab that. I'll go from here down. Like so. Now we end up with this bit of malarkey, but we'll come back and fix that in just a second. That allows us to fix this. So I'm going to go from this point across, and then this point across. Let's sew those up. Target weld. Vertex, kind of click off and then weld it. Weld it. We'll fill these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bridge. Hey, the neck is attached without a spiral. That's good. But we do have this weird split here. So what I'm looking for is the path of least shenanigans, right? We have a quad and a triangle. This technically makes something bad. So that's a little bit of an n-gon scenario. It's not, it'll be an n-gon once we cut that off, right? So I want to take this. I want to have the cleanest travel from here to here as I can. Now we could take this up and split this edge and then run it the back. We could take this edge forward around the face and end it here, which is probably the shortest route from there to there. Well, the cleanest route, I should say. We could go from here across this way. So if I delete this edge, kind of show you. We can go from here to here, creating that star, and then around. Whoops. And that'll work. Not the ideal solution, but this is in a spot that's not going to bend nearly as much. The head will bend around here, but you're not going to have as much bend up in the ear. So, alright. We'll do some cleanup, just a little bit. We're going to have a really sharp jawline right here. It's alright, he's a manly elf. But I think for our initial practice, this will work. So I was kind of going through, trying to round out some of these points. And then on this eye here, this has been bugging me since we put it in, but it's a very sharp eye. Like there and around. I want to put a couple loops in here. So grab the edge loop tool. Insert edge loop. I'm going to throw a loop right about here. That'll kind of help that shape. Okay, so this will do it for this video. In the next one, we'll go ahead and make the hair, and we'll make the other half of our model.